Hello, South Africa, and welcome back to SA Daily Insight, your go-to source for the latest headlines, breaking stories, and deep dives into the issues shaping our nation. Today, we have a packed episode with stories that are making waves across the country. From the high-profile bail application of businessman Vusimuzi Cat Matlala to President Cyril Ramaphosa's controversial remarks praising Zimbabwe's agriculture to yet another shocking cash-in-transit heist, there's a lot to unpack, so grab a seat, hit that like button, and let's get straight into today's top story. Our first story takes us to the Alexandra Magistrate's Court, where businessman Vusimuzi Cat Matlala made headlines with his 100,000 Rand bail application. Cat is facing some serious charges: attempted murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and money laundering. All of this stems from the October 2023 shooting incident along the N1 near Sandton, where his ex-girlfriend, Teboho Tobajana, was the target. According to court reports, Teboho was shot in the foot, while another passenger in the car suffered a life-changing spinal injury. It's a case that has captured national attention, not only because of the high-profile names involved, but also due to the shocking claims that have come out in court. Matlala, who denies any involvement in the attack, told the court he first learned about the shooting through social media. He even offered to surrender his passport, promising he's not a flight risk and that he'll attend every court date. But the state wasn't convinced. Prosecutors opposed bail, arguing that the seriousness of the charges and Matlala's alleged underworld connections make him a potential risk if released. The case has now been postponed to the 8th of September 2025. Matlala isn't facing these charges alone. Among the accused are his wife, Sakani Matlala, as well as Musa Kekana and Tiahi Floyd Mabusela, in a twist that sounds like something out of a crime drama. Mabusela's own daughter, 23-year-old Ntabiseng Nzama, is now a state witness in the case. Her testimony could be crucial in unraveling exactly what happened on that highway the night Teboho's car came under fire. In court, Matlala painted a very different picture. He claims his relationship with Teboho ended amicably back in September 2021 after a 13-month romance. In fact, he says after the shooting, Teboho contacted him for help and protection, not the actions, he argues, of someone who believes he tried to kill her. But that's not all. Matlala alleges the police planted evidence on his electronic devices, claims some of his expensive watches mysteriously went missing during searches, and accuses authorities of forging links between him and a fake Eswatini identity document. He insists this entire case is nothing more than political revenge after his company lost a massive 360 million Rand South African Police Service medical services tender. As if things couldn't get more bizarre, authorities in Eswatini uncovered a fraudulent ID issued with fake family details, an ID Matlala allegedly used for cross-border travel. Investigations revealed Home Affairs employees manipulated records, deleted digital trails, and even used the usernames of deceased staff to cover their tracks. Some officials have already confessed to taking bribes. The Eswatini government has now launched a full-scale probe into corruption within its immigration systems, exposing a criminal network far bigger than one man. With the case postponed, South Africans are left asking, how deep does this go? Is this about one man's alleged crimes, or does it point to systemic corruption linking organized crime, politics, and law enforcement? Speaking of politics, let's shift gears to our next story: President Cyril Ramaphosa's trip to Zimbabwe and the firestorm his comments have sparked. President Cyril Ramaphosa visited Zimbabwe as a guest of honor at the annual Zimbabwe Agricultural Show. During his speech, he praised Zimbabwe's agricultural revival, crediting land reforms, irrigation investments, and mechanization for what he called a shining example to the rest of Africa.
Zimbabwe has, what I've seen here is so impressive. Zimbabwe has been able to focus on agriculture in the superlative way in terms of empowering rural farmers, industrialization out of agriculture. So I leave Zimbabwe having learned a great deal about agriculture, the type of learnings that we can copy in South Africa. And so I'm truly honored to have come here. So I'm very impressed.
But here's the problem. Zimbabwe is currently facing one of the worst food crises in its history. Over 8 million people are on the brink of starvation, and the government is spending millions on emergency maize imports just to keep people alive. So Ramaphosa's praise didn't just raise eyebrows, it set off a political storm back home. The Democratic Alliance slammed Ramaphosa's comments as whitewashing failure. DA spokesperson Vili Ocamp said the land reform program in Zimbabwe destroyed the economy, wrecked foreign relations, and left the country owing millions to dispossessed farmers because land wasn't legally transferred. Ocamp accused Ramaphosa of using Zimbabwe's example to justify the ANC's controversial Expropriation Act planned for 2025, a law that would allow land seizures without compensation. The DA argues land reform in South Africa must be fair, lawful, and constitutional, warning that copying Zimbabwe's model would be disastrous. Critics say Ramaphosa's speech ignored Zimbabwe's economic collapse, food shortages, and political repression. Instead, he blamed climate change for the hunger crisis, overlooking decades of mismanagement and corruption. Worse still, while Zimbabweans struggle to survive, Ramaphosa spoke about satellites, AI technology, and futuristic farming as if the country were a global agricultural powerhouse. The gap between rhetoric and reality couldn't be wider. Some analysts warn Ramaphosa's admiration for Zimbabwe's land policies signals the ANC may repeat the same mistakes at home. With load shedding, unemployment, and crime already crippling South Africa, critics say the last thing the country needs is another self-inflicted crisis. And speaking of crises, our next story takes us to Gauteng, where yet another cash-in-transit heist has left communities shaken and police scrambling for answers. It was a scene of absolute chaos on Barry Moraes Road in Dawn Park on Monday. A silver Mercedes-Benz rammed into a cash delivery truck, causing it to overturn onto a minibus taxi carrying 7 passengers. Within minutes, about 8 armed robbers bombed the cash van, grabbed the money, and opened fire as terrified residents ran for cover. 2 innocent bystanders were killed in the crossfire. 5 taxi passengers were injured, while 2 others miraculously escaped unharmed. Witnesses described hearing 2 massive explosions followed by nearly 15 minutes of gunfire. One resident said it felt like a war zone.
My name is William Ngadi, the Media Liaison Officer of the City of Equivalent Disaster and Emergency Management Services. Yes, we can confirm that we received a cash and transit heist incident here in Dawn Park, Barry Moraes Road. So the fire department responded from First Loras with 6 personnel and with 2 officers. So on arrival, they found that now a sedan Mercedes-Benz was well alight, and there were patients lying across the road. So it is confirmed that 2 of the people on scene, 2 males, are confirmed to be priority force. That means they were declared dead on scene by the paramedics, and the others were transported to the hospital because the vehicles involved as well, it was a taxi which was apparently having about 8 passengers. The 9th person was the driver himself. So the other patients are not accounted for, or the other passengers are not accounted for. We can confirm that now we have 4 serious but stable passengers from the taxi, and the rest other passengers, they are not accounted for as we arrived. But the scene is now currently under the supervision or investigation of the SAPS. Thank you.
Police have launched a priority investigation using footage, forensic evidence, and eyewitness statements to track down the suspects. But so far, no arrests have been made. Cash-in-transit heists have become a growing epidemic in Gauteng, with over 100 attacks reported each year. Local residents are demanding better street lighting, more police patrols, and quicker response times. Families of the victims are calling for justice, while authorities warn the public to stay away from robbery scenes and never pick up scattered money. It's illegal and extremely dangerous. Police say they're exploring new technologies like tracking systems, stronger armored vehicles, and even drone surveillance to combat these heists. But for now, communities remain on edge as another gang of heavily armed criminals roams free. And that brings us to the end of today's edition of SA Daily Insight. From the courtroom drama of Vusimuzi Cat Matlala to the political controversy surrounding President Ramaphosa's remarks and the terrifying reality of cash-in-transit heists, it's clear South Africa faces challenges on multiple fronts. We'll keep following these stories closely and bring you the latest updates as they unfold. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Stay safe, stay informed, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye for now, South Africa.